Alright, folks. So if you're watching this at the moment, just let me know if you can kind of hear me out because I am not sure if this is working. So I need to just test this at the moment. Yeah, right. This seems to be working. All right, perfect. If somebody hears the audio in the background, I really apologize for that because people are actually just here to do their own thing. I'm doing my own thing, so just bear with me. And give me a second. On Instagram, you are missing a ton. Uh, all right, I guess I'm out of frame here. Let me fix that. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's just put this here. It doesn't matter as long as it's out of frame. Hey. How's it going? I need to turn this around. Anyways, fun. I'll do that next time. No, let me just do it right now. Give me a second, guys. If you're watching this on live, we're actually going to be discussing uh, how do you kind of get a lot of impressions for your. Okay, I guess this should be better. I don't know if the video is going to turn around fine. Maybe it'll not be fine, but let's see. Anyways, all right, guys. So let's begin this video. Let me just quickly one more time before I actually start speaking. The important bit: test the audio. All right, perfect. It is working fine. By the way, guys, if you have not seen this video, okay, this was the previous live stream that we had on our channel where we discussed the product research funnel. Okay, so this is basically the strategy that I use to, discover products for myself to launch. So, I've basically divided this funnel into three different aspects: product discovery, product evaluation, and then product differentiation. So if you have not already checked it out, you must go ahead and check it out. I'll just kind of move this a bit ahead as it's not even visible here. So guys, if you have any questions regarding getting sales, PPC, launching products, discovering the right opportunity for your products, just drop them in the comments below. And please, if you're watching this at the moment, I believe some of you are, so just hit that like button because it really helps spread the word and kind of tells YouTube that this video is a bit important in the Amazon FBA private label ecosystem, and that kind of pushes the video above in the algorithm. So if you're watching this on Instagram or on YouTube, please hit the like button and share this in your status if you can, and if you don't mind. So check this video out. Okay, check this video out in the previous live stream. It is the most important method, and it is exactly what I do to discover great product opportunities in the Amazon FBA / private label ecosystem on the internet. So product discovery, product evaluation, and product differentiation. Also, if you want to learn more about this method that you've seen, you can check out privatelabelschool.com as well. All right. So today I'm actually going to teach you on something that. All right, so today I'm actually going to be touching upon something that I, discussed with someone yesterday on the call, and I've kind of also applied that strategy on a friend's account very recently. So this strategy is primarily important, for getting a lot of impressions. Okay, so basically, if you have a low priced product, okay, which means if it is under $20. First, this is like not the best idea, all right, for you to have your product in. Okay, I would never advise anybody to launch product which can be sold easy, which is primarily sold under $20. Okay, that is not a good idea. That is not a good strategy to start with. But sometimes what happens is that a lot of people actually end up launching something which has a market average selling price under $20 because they are sometimes short on budget, and because of that, they basically pick up a product which would cost them about $2 to $3 at max to produce, and another dollar to land, so maybe an under $4 landing cost. So sometimes such products cannot be sold over $20 just because the market trend is like that, and you may not, you may not have added enough value to your listing, to your product, to actually price it higher than $20. So if you are in this position, if your product is priced under $20, and if you are bleeding money, if you're losing a lot of money, and if you're not able to rank using PPC, this video is basically for you guys. So before I actually keep moving forward, just give me 1 second. I'm actually going to go to my YouTube channel, verify this once again before I move forward, and click on share. Click on share, go to my Facebook group. So if you have not joined the Republic of Sellers Facebook group, you must consider joining it, because most of my live streams and quick sessions every day are in the Facebook group. So I'm just about to share it. Just give me 1 second. Bear with me. Yep. Publish. All right, cool. So I've just informed my group that we are live here. So if they want, they can join in. All right. So a lot of beginners and a lot of sellers have this problem that, they basically have their product under the $20 price range as a selling price, and they cannot price it higher because, because the market average wouldn't let them get sales at that higher cost, and because they might not have added an extra value to the product to begin with, to expect a higher price point and expect the customer to pay a premium price just to get that product, which is primarily sold at $20. So if you are in this scenario, okay, the strategy that you must apply to get your sales going, especially the goal is, if your product is at $20, I would advise you to kind of get rid of it, because you may never be able to kind of get a $10 profit per unit on average with that product. Okay, that is not feasible. Okay, if you are doing or spending a lot of your efforts in launching product, discovering product, sourcing product, designing product, and then putting it out there and then advertising it, marketing it, if you're doing all of those things, you deserve a $10 per unit profit. Okay, you deserve a $10 per unit profit. Okay, so if you are not there, what you need to do is you need to figure out how do you get rid of this inventory without losing a lot of money or without losing money at all, and then start with something that is going to definitely get you a $9 to $10 profit per unit, if not more. Okay, especially during the season of that product, which is, for example, if you're selling toys, your season would be the Q4 season. If you're selling calendars, your season would be December, Jan, Feb. So depending on the season, your profit per unit should also kind of inflate, but across the year on average you must definitely aim for $9 per unit or more profit after deducting PPC. Okay, I'm talking about this after deducting PPC, not before deducting PPC. So that is your goal. So if you are in this area, you need to kind of basically get rid of this product. Okay, you need to figure out a way to liquidate your inventory. You need to figure out a way to kind of just sell it out, okay, without losing a lot of money, or maybe ending up with a break even, and just start afresh with the right product. And to understand how do you pick the right product, you can reach out to me, okay, or you can check out privatelabeldiscoop.com, or you can just kind of watch all of my videos on YouTube channel and figure out what are the criteria that I always keep talking about, what is the litmus test that I always keep talking about, wherein which kind of helps you or puts you in the right mindset or gives you the right vision filter to figure out what is the right product for you to launch on Amazon or off Amazon for that matter. So how do you get rid of this inventory? So let's say you have this product. First of all, the primary criteria for you to kind of have this strategy in place, which is called the strategy is called below radar strategy. Okay, that's what I have kind of done this below radar strategy. That's what this strategy is called. Okay, so what does this do, and how do you kind of incorporate this, to get sales, to get rid of your inventory? So what you need to do here is basically the primary criteria for this to work is that you need to have your product in keywords. So this is keywords, KWS is keywords, wherein there is high search volume. Okay, so this is basically the bare minimum. I would expect you to at least be in that position wherein you might have launched a product which has a high search volume keyword. Okay, which means that a lot of people should be searching for relevant keywords. Hey, thank you so much for joining. So which means that a lot of people should be searching for keywords, okay, related to your product. Okay, for example, if you are selling garlic press, okay, if you happen to sell garlic press, just taking an example and kind of giving an example about the search volume thing. If you are selling a garlic press, you basically know for a fact that a lot of people on Amazon or in Google or in USA in general or in wherever your market is in general would be searching for garlic press. Okay, you can kind of be sure about the fact that the search volume for garlic press might not go down. That means that you are in a high search volume category. Okay, and this is the primary criteria for kind of having this strategy in place, at least especially during certain months of the year. So if you have this criteria, if you are in a spot wherein you don't have a traffic problem, you have a sales problem, so this is where this strategy comes in place. So the idea for applying this strategy is to basically have a high impression count. Okay, and another thing. Okay, so if you are, so most of you usually end up spending, or bidding more than $1 or close to $1 when you are, setting up your PPC campaigns, when you are trying to advertise your products using the Amazon PPC campaigns. Most of you end up, having your averages of CPC bid. CPC means cost per click. So, which basically means that what is the average dollar amount you spend per click that you get on Amazon. Okay, that's what CPC means. What is the average cost per click? Okay, what is the average dollar amount that you spend when you try to get clicks for your ads on Amazon? So that is CPC. Okay, so most of the people usually have their CPC around $1 on average. Okay, which is very, very high. Hey Nishi, thank you so much for joining. Which is very, very high if your product is priced on $20. All right, my product has a selling price range of somewhere between $25 in the lowest, at the lowest, and up till $32 when I am in the season. Okay, so I sell my product between $25 to $32 depending on whatever season it is going on. So for example, if it's Q4, I would probably be able to sell my product for a $32 profit, $32 selling point, and about a $13 per profit per unit after PPC costs. But if it's a normal season, so if it's not Q4, my product sells somewhere between $25 to $27, okay, on average. So that is kind of like my range of selling price, wherein I am kind of able to sell my product depending on the season, depending on the sales opportunity. For example, if it's a Prime Day, if it's something else, whatever it is, it depends. So my point was, at that level of pricing, I am able to kind of fetch close to a $10 profit per unit after deducting my PPC costs. Okay, so that is possible for me. But if your selling price is around $20, you may not be able to fetch a $10 profit. That means, what do you need to do? That means you don't have enough money to burn for your PPC. That means your CPC bids, if they are close to $1, that means what will happen is that let's say your budget is $20, let's say your budget is $30, let's say your budget is $40, whatever that scenario is, you would end up running out of your budgets very quickly because you could be bidding higher. So if you have a very high CPC, okay, if you have a very high average dollar amount that you pay per click to Amazon, then your budgets for your campaigns would dry up quickly. Okay, I hope that is clear. If you have any questions, if you don't understand anything, let me know in the comments. So I will either approach those questions right now after I finish the live stream, or I would approach those questions in the tomorrow's or day after tomorrow's live stream whenever I can possibly come online once again. So if your CPC bids are close to a dollar amount on average, and if your budgets are, and if you're not in a position to have budgets more than $20 or $30 per day, what would happen is that your campaigns would become inactive and they would run out of their budget very quickly. Okay, that is the core problem that we are trying to solve. And if that happens, you may not get a lot of impressions. If you don't get a lot of impressions, the chances of you coming in front of a customer reduces drastically. If that happens, you don't get sales, right? You cannot get the ball rolling because your campaigns are turned off as they run out of budget. So that is the core problem that we are trying to solve. And if somebody is joining at the moment right now, please rewind this video and watch it, because we kind of covered a bunch of variables that are supposed to kind of be relevant for you to apply the strategy. So what we are going to do, if your PPC budgets are slim and your price is not more than $20, what you need to aim for is that you need to aim for getting a high amount of impressions, and that will happen if you are in a category where you don't have a search volume problem. So how do you get high amount of impressions? That is basically by reducing your CPC bids, targeting the most broad keywords for your product. Okay, you need to start targeting the most broad keywords for your product. So for example, if you talk about garlic press as your product, I would start targeting garlic press as my keyword at a 15 cent per CPC bid, or at a 15 cent bid, or at a 20 cent bid, or at maximum 25 cent bid. So I will start targeting my most broad keywords at a very low bid, so that I get those impressions which people may not be in for, or which are cheap. Okay, either of these scenario would be met in this scenario. You would start getting the cheap impressions. That means you would probably be on the second page, or the third page, or the fourth page, or you would probably be on the product detail page in the strip which says product, sponsored products. So basically what you're trying to do right now is you're not trying to aim for the first spot, okay, on the search results of that particular keyword. You're not trying to aim for that. You cannot afford that because you did not select the right price point, or you don't have enough margins to basically afford that expense. Okay, and we're not able to hey Mohit, thank you so much for joining. And when you are not able to afford that expense, this is what you need to do. You need to basically be in the spots and kind of aim for the spots which people are not trying to aim for in volume. Okay, that is exactly what we are trying to do. Okay, so you would basically start bidding on the most broad keywords, which means the keywords which get the highest search volume on Amazon. Okay, you would start to bid for those keywords at a very low CPC bid. So somewhere between $10 to maybe 25 cents, depending on what kind of margins you have. But that's where I would basically go ahead and bid and aim for, and that has worked in one of my friend's account, wherein we recently had a product which was extremely seasonal. It was supposed to be sold between December and January, and as soon as this time frame of 2 months were over, they would probably not be able to sell out their inventory, and they had a bunch of inventory. So we exactly applied this strategy since October end, and we started getting a lot of impressions, because initially it was like they were getting about 1,000 impressions a week, and after we applied this strategy, we started getting above 4,000 to 5,000 impressions per week, and that kind of translated into a good amount of sales, because we were not really going heavy on the expense. We were not going heavy on the budgets, and we were not trying to kind of burn out our money. Our goal was to get a lot of impressions, which would in turn get a higher number of clicks at a lower cost, which would in turn get us a good amount of sales and an accelerated amount of sales on a daily basis. So that was the idea, and that is what you do when you have to kind of aim for high impression count and low CPC. That means you are basically spending a low dollar amount. So between 10 cents to probably, between 10 to 25 cents. Okay, pick an odd number so that somebody is not trying to kind of compete for that particular number. But yeah, between 10 cents to 25 cents is where I would probably try and aim for. I don't think anything between anything below 10 cents would end up working for you in your favor. So I've not tried that, to be very honest. I have kind of only bid, even on my worst keywords, I've bid the lowest as 10 cents. Okay, so that is something that I would tell you. Also, if you have already like added negative keywords in your campaign, if you have already added those keywords, because you may have kind of heard about that. Hey, this keyword is bleeding. Hey, thank you so much for joining. You must have heard about that. Hey, this keyword is bleeding, and maybe you don't understand what is, a bleeding keyword in exactly. So what may have happened is that you might have had added those keywords in your negative campaign. Check those out. Okay, remove them from negative as long as it is completely not relevant. For example, if you're trying to sell garlic press and you are kind of getting some impressions for, a kitchen pin, okay, which kind of helps you roll the dough. So if you are getting impressions for that, that means you have a very irrelevant keyword, which is basically getting you some clicks and maybe not converting into sales. Then you should add it to negative keywords. And we should probably have a live stream where we exactly talk about how do you understand which keywords should actually go in negative keywords. So if you want another live stream wherein I talk about how do you pick the keywords which actually are your negative keywords and which you should be adding in your negative keywords, let me know. I will kind of come back with that live stream or with that video in the next time. Okay, so that was all for this video. If you have kind of joined in the very end, rewind, watch it again. Please hit that thumbs up button, and I will see you next time in the next live stream. Thank you so much for joining in, guys. If you have not kind of subscribed or followed me on Instagram, do that. My handle is Rish, RYK. Okay, so just do that, and I will see you in there, because as you can see, like, I'm live here, right? Great. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, because as you can see that I'm going to be very frequent with these live stream sessions. So I hope you get notified whenever I come on live so that you don't miss the information that I talk about from the very beginning. All right, then I will see you guys next time. Take care. Have a great one.